Okay guys, just going to talk through one of the worksheet questions because I know a lot of people have been struggling with the conditional probability. So let's just have a look at this question. So it's saying that given that m and y are two events and that the probability of m is 0.23, the probability of y is 0.45 and the probability of m and y equals 0.12. So what that effectively means is we need to make ourselves one of our Venn diagrams. So we've got the two circles, and in the middle I've put 0.12, so that is the probability of m and y is 0.12. Now if the probability of m is 0.23, I know that this whole section is going to be 0.23, therefore I'm going to put 0.11 in there, because 0.11 add 0.12 will make my 0.23. Okay, so again, it's not putting this straight in, it's noticing that my middle section will be 0.12, and I'm going to take that away from the whole m of 0.23, so that'll be 0.11. My other section then, because the probability of y is 0.45, so 0.12, take that away from 0.45, and that becomes 0.33. So 0.12 and 0.33 collectively make my probability of 0.45. So once I've done those two, filled them in, I can then go on to the outside. So if I add all of these together, I've got, well, I know that my m is 0.23, add this section, so that's going to be 0.56. So 0.56 within there. So outside I'm going to obviously make up the rest of the 1, which is my total possibilities. So that will be 0.44, because all of these added up have to add up to 1. Okay, so all of these added up have to add up to 1. So now I've got 0.44 outside. Okay, so I've made up my Venn diagram. Now I can move down onto these questions. So just very important to note, so we have some here, for example, that say P, so the probability of M, and then this line Y. Okay, so what this line means, that effectively means P, so the probability of M given that Y. Okay, so this line basically means given that. So the probability of M given that Y. So let's look at what that actually means. Question 1, the probability of M or y is just going to be all of those added together. So we said that was 0.56. So that's how we got the 0.44. This one here is going to be the probability of m given that y. So what that means is we look at given that y means that if we start off with y, we need to work out the probability of m. So the probability of y was 0.45. So the probability of y was 0.45. So 0.45. That is our total probability. Okay, that's our total probability. So I'm going to start off with 45 there. So 0.45. And then my m within that. If I have all of my y's, what is the probability that I'll also have m? So out of these y probabilities, which is just this circle, 0.12 of those have m as well. So given that we have y, m is 0.12. So 0.12 of my 0.145, 0.45, 0.12 of my 0.45 are m. So therefore my probability is 12/45. Okay. Now let's have a look at the next one. The next one is probability of y given that m. So because it's given that m, okay, we're going to start off just looking at the m. This m now is the section we're looking at. So I'm just looking at my m's. Those m's, like it says over here, add up to 0.23. So my probability of m is 0.23. That's my total. So that's my total probability is 0.23. And given that I have m, what's the probability that I have y? Well, the y section within that is 0.12. So it's going to be 0.12 over 0.23. So it's going to be 12/23. Okay. Now, my probability of M, given that it's not Y. Okay? M, given that it's not Y. So, if we're looking at which parts of this Venn diagram are not Y, this is the Y circle, so it's everything outside of that. So it's going to be my 0.11 and my 0.44. So I'm going to add those two together. So my total possibility is going to be 0.55. So my two sections are 0.55. Given that it's one of those, what's the probability that I have M? That's going to be my 0.11 section. So it's going to be 0.11. So it's going to be 11 over 55, or 1/5. So conditional probability, what it does, it almost takes us from having the whole area of our Venn diagram, and it focuses. Why can't I say focuses? Focuses. There we go. It focuses us in on one section of it. Okay, so it focuses us in on a smaller section. Say when we were looking at M given that Y, we're just looking at the Y section. So almost our total possible outcomes is reduced down to just one section, and then we look at this part of it, so the M, within that smaller section. So that's what conditional probability does. We start off by looking at just a small section of it, so just a small section of our Venn diagram, and then we start to look, okay, given that we're in this part, what's the probability of this happening? Okay, hope that helps. Any questions, just drop me a message on Edmodo.